So today for Behind the Camper Vans, we've got the Wildax Pulsar. This little van is 5.4 metres in length. This model is fitted with an onboard gas tank. If you want to fill up, then pop off the cap, insert your gun for the gas supply, and then obviously feed up. Always recommend that when they first click back on you, that's when you stop filling the tanks. Don't try and overfill them to any extent. There's an internal gauge up on the dashboard which will tell you what your content is. Pulsars are popular because they are one of the few vans on the market that have a double sliding door. So in this configuration, you've got the ability to travel as four properly lap and diagonal seatbelts. Just underneath the sliding door, you've got your fresh water point. So you've got a means of filling up the tank, and then obviously a means of draining the tank off, specifically for winter storage, if you wanted to cleanse or cleanse the tank out. So your freshwater cap, you open up, turn the key, and then turn the cap, and that enables you then to put a hose pipe straight in. Mains cable up at the back of the vehicle. We'd always recommend that you connect up to the side of the van first of all. So open up your flap, push it in like so, and then connect onto your main supply for safe use. Below the rear bumper, you've got your grey water outlet. So that's the water that's collected from the shower tray, vanity unit, and from the kitchen sink. Drive over a drain or a gully, empty the tap, and drain off. With the Dometic cassette, open up the inner door at the back, pull up on the lime green tab, and you should be able to remove the cassette towards you nice and easily. On the campsite, you have collection points for these to go into. So you take off the black cap at the top, tip the whole thing up, and then press in on the button, and that allows the airflow into the top and allows the waste to drain out the bottom. Before you load it in, back into the cassette, unscrew the top, some green chemical, the green sachets that we recommend up here for the Highlands, and then about 2 litres of water. Swirl the two together and then load the cassette back in, and you're ready to go. Because of the positioning of the waste tank on Pulsars, all the spare wheels are always mounted onto the barn door. Toolkit is located underneath the driver's seat. Around the corner from that, you've got your external gas barbecue point, which is fitted on this one. So the brass fitting, which at the moment is clipped in to a position, is designed to go up into the cap, and you turn your gas supply on and down to the appliance. This has got the Truma gas and electric water heater on. There's a bit of a condensation plume coming off on it at the moment because it's a cold day and we've got the heating on inside the vehicle. So you're seeing the condensation come off the plume, which is perfectly normal. So just inside the sliding door, you've got an electric step, which you can control. Also on both sliding doors, you've got fly screens. I always recommend that you use 2 hands to pull these across. Stops little bugs from getting into the van. When you open up the passenger door, at the end of the dashboard, you've got your bonnet release. Underneath the passenger seat is the vehicle toolkit, and underneath the carpet, you've got your engine battery. Fuel filler cap is not affected by the central locking system, so open up the main flap and then ignition key in, turn it anti-clockwise and turn the cap, and you should be able to pull out, and you've got your AdBlue system on here too as well. With the bonnet release, you've got an orange tab that you pick up and open up your bonnet accordingly. Over on the extreme left hand side, you've got your screen wash, then your radiator water and brake fluid. On this model, it's the electric assisted steering that Fiat offer. Oil filler cap on top of the block. There's no dipstick because it's monitored electronically by the vehicle. And then when you go down under the bonnet, you've got your connection points for the positive for jump starting the vehicle, and then the negative backup on the bulkhead. So we've moved inside the van and we've got our 12-volt control panel up on the front bulkhead. Turn the power on the bottom. There's a little bleep as it engages. And for whatever you want to do, you'll need to make sure that the 12-volt switch is turned on up above. We've got all the lights coming on inside. You've got a separate switch for your water pump, one for the outside awning light. You can adjust the brightness of the lamps as well. And then you've got indicators for the fresh water and battery level indicators as well for both your engine and leisure battery. Time of year, we've got all the water systems drained down, so if we hear the occasional bleep, then it's basically just giving us an indication that the tank is dry. To turn the control panel off, press and hold in on the button for a couple of seconds and it should shut the whole system down. Make sure that you turn off any other heating systems beforehand and then turn off your 12-volt supply. When you turn from the main control panel around to directly above the sliding door, you've got some tank heaters. So for the cold weather, these can be turned on to protect the freshwater and wastewater tanks from freezing up. We've opened up the seat box behind the driver's seat to show you what else is located within this unit. So we've got your leisure battery located there, your solar panel controllers over on the back, and then your mains RCD, your internal 12-volt fuse box, and your mains battery charger, all located underneath, all nice and accessible and easy to get to. Okay. So when we go into the cupboard underneath the cooker, there's an additional access panel which takes you through to the back side of the vehicle, and you've got your gas isolation points. So over on the right hand side you've got one that comes up from the onboard tank, and then you've got two more, which is the gas supply for the water heating, room heating systems, as well as the cooker. In the vertical positions they're turned on. You can easily reach in and turn it through 90 degrees to block the supply to those appliances, or block the supply that's coming up from the main tank itself. We've got gas coming into the vehicle, so we can purge the gas supply through. The lids on these don't isolate the supply, so always make sure that the appliance is switched off and cooled before you draw the glass down over the top to shut everything off. Oven and grill controls. Turn the dial anti-clockwise for the cooker and you can light up the burner at the back, or turn it clockwise to light up the grill and the gas burner at the top. Moved into the shower and toilet compartment. For the use of the toilet, you will need to make sure that you've pulled the flap forward, and then it's electric flush over on this control panel here, so pressing on that one and you'll get water coming around the inside of the bowl. A couple of indicator lights that can come on. So on the top right hand side we've got the indicator light that shows that the tank is full or partially full. The fresh water feed on this one comes directly from your onboard fresh water tank, but if the cassette hasn't been properly reinserted for emptying, then you'll see an indicator light come on just there. Push the lever back, stop any smells or odours from coming back up through. The fridge in this Pulsar is 12-volt operated, so press and hold in on this button for a couple of seconds and it will turn on the control panel. When it's blue, it's indicating that something's in function. For adjusting the temperature, basically select onto the temperature gauge and then bring down these so that they go from blue to white to reduce the temperature. When you first turn on the appliance, you'll hear the compressor kick in. For nighttime that can sometimes be distracting, so there is actually a nighttime mode. So we've got the white moon there indicating that it's a normal performance, but if we tap in on that one and change it to the blue moon, then it's basically indicating it's gone into nighttime mode and the compressor won't be quite so loud when you're sleeping in the van at night. To shut the whole appliance down, press and hold on for a couple of seconds and you'll see all of the lights go out. So it's a similar story with the water heating system. So we'll select onto the water icon and you can select either an eco mode or a hot mode depending on the temperature that you want the water to run at. Again, whilst this top symbol up here is flashing, it's indicating that the water hasn't reached the temperature that you've selected. It's going to take around about 40 minutes or so for it to get to this maximum setting. You have the choice of where you draw your energy supply from. So at the moment we've got it into pure electric mode and at the maximum setting. So it's drawing around about 1800 watts. You can decrease that to a 900 watt setting. You can combine it with a gas output at the maximum electric or a reduced electric setting, or you can run it on a pure gas mode using a 12-volt igniter and 12-volt circulation fan. With all of the heating systems switched off and your water heating as well, you can go back over to the fan symbol. In heating mode, you can use it to increase or decrease the speed of the fan, but with the heating system switched off, you can just use it as a recirculatory system, and you can increase or decrease the speed of the fan. So it's just basically turning over the airflow. Maybe if it's warm or a little bit humid, you might want to do that. Deselect it by turning it back to the off position, and then you can come back through the controls. You can go into a clock mode and set up the clock for the day and time. That can then be used in conjunction with a timer setting, which you can then use to set up just some basic settings. So if tomorrow, for example, at 8 o'clock you want the room heating and the water heating to come on, then you can follow through the sequences to set all of that up, and then choose your heat settings onto there. All the time that it's in that timer setting mode, you'll see this symbol on permanently. To turn the appliance off, we'd always recommend that you would do this first of all and then turn off any 12 volt system. Press and hold on it for a couple of seconds, and you'll see the word off, and then the system will begin to shut down. So with the 5.4, you have the choice of either a double bed or two single bed arrangement. We'll start off with a double bed. There's a metal catch on the front of each seat, which you need to operate first of all, and then drop your boards down so that they can locate. You can set this out as a partial lounge by putting the backrest across there, blocks off that sliding door, but it does give you a little bit more lounge space. We need to repeat with the seat box that's behind the driver's door, and just rearrange the cushions so that they go down. Still in its protective wrapper, but there is a crossbar which is designed to be inserted between the two front rails. These rails are designed to support, although they're out on a cantilever, support body weight that's sleeping on the side. And then we'll take the backrest and drop it in between the two seats to give you your double bed arrangement. So to set this up as two singles, I've taken the liberty of turning the cab seats straight the way around. You still pull out the seats to make them into benches. There's then some additional infill cushions which are designed to sit down onto the top of the existing mattresses, and they then give you then your twin single configuration, like so. We've opened up the bed box, which is underneath the passenger seat behind the passenger side of the vehicle, and you've got your water pump. I want to draw your attention to this little yellow tab that's down here. This is the drain valve for the water heater. It's up in the vertical position at the moment because it's open. It's allowing the water heater to drain out for frost protection. When you want to operate, you'll need to move it back to the horizontal position and then purge the water tank through so that you have a consistent supply of water coming out of your hot taps before you turn your hot tap heating system on. Over on the driver's door, you've got your electric window and your electric mirror controls. Just below the gas gauge, you've got your headlamp beam adjustment for the laden weight within the vehicle, as well as your rear fog lamps. This vehicle is fitted with a auto stop start feature, which you can turn off if you prefer. Steering wheel controls, on the right hand side you've got your cruise and speed limiter. On the left hand controls, they're attributed to the radio head unit, your wipers and light controls on their respective sides. When you turn your attention over to the 9-speed automatic transmission, then it's a simple operation of selecting and pulling back onto the gears, but you'll notice that there's a drive mode. You can set it between a normal, an eco and a boost mode, which changes the down change and up changes within the gear sequence. This vehicle is also fitted with an ASR system, an anti-skid control system, which you can turn off perhaps if you're driving in icy conditions or across wet grass. It's a central locking button, the main on-off button for the head unit, and your electric heated mirror controls are done from there. You've got a ventilation system that's controlled using air conditioning as well, and then your temperature and speed of fans are selected on that side. USB controls for charging, as well as for to a 12-volt socket. There's an immediate import cable which is connected up to the head unit, and then you've got glove boxes on the bottom and on the top. The one on the top is connected up to the air conditioning unit, so it could be used as a mini fridge when the vehicle is in transit. So that's our demonstration video for the Wildax Pulsar on the 5.4 metre chassis. Sincerely hope that you've enjoyed it. On behalf of Highland Camper Vans, thank you very much for watching.